You're watching a special edition of WMBD News, the 2021 Peoria Candidates Forum.
Good evening, Central Illinois, and thank you for joining us on this special edition of WMBD News. We'd like to welcome those of you on our website, ciproud.com, and Facebook Live, as well as live on air. I'm Matt Sheehan. Tonight, we'll hear from the now two candidates vying for the position of mayor of the city of Peoria. You'll have the opportunity to vote for them on the general election, which is Tuesday, April 6th. We'd like to thank the Moss Bradley Residential Association and the West Bluff Council for partnering with us for this event. And you've got an opportunity to participate over on our Facebook page, WMBD News. Just leave a comment in the comment section. Well, let's start by going over the rules for tonight's forum. Candidates will be allowed 90 seconds to introduce themselves and then state their platforms. Questions will be asked with 1 minute for response from each candidate, and candidates may make closing remarks not to exceed 90 seconds in length. Now that we know the rules, let's begin with candidate introductions. I'm joined live by Dr. Rita Ali and Jim Montelango. Dr. Ali, let's start with you.
Thank you very much. Thank you to the host of this forum. I'm humbled. I'm humbled by the results of the primary election and honored by the confidence shown in me to lead this city by thousands of Peorians. I want to take this opportunity to focus on the choice voters face in the general election and the urgent issues facing us moving forward. Peoria faced very serious challenges prior to the pandemic: population loss, economic downturn, financial struggles to fund basic services, and keeping neighborhoods safe, just to name a few. I also believe that Peoria struggled with its identity after the decision by CAT to move its world headquarters. It was an economic blow, but also perhaps a psychological one that we haven't collectively come to terms with. Then COVID struck. It's changed everything about how we live, work, learn, and play. And many of the changes are here to stay. So we face unprecedented challenges as a community. But I feel these challenges also provide us with an unprecedented opportunity to define and take hold of our future, to reinvent ourselves as a city, and to find deeper purpose. I have successfully led large-scale and private and public organizations for the past 25 years, and I've managed crisis. I want to be your qualified champion to lead us forward to meet these challenges as your mayor. Thank you.
Dr. Ali, thank you for that. Mr. Montelango, now for your introduction.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Jim Montelango. Just a little over 31 years ago, I came to Peoria with a dream to attend Bradley University to earn a bachelor's degree in engineering. While attending Bradley University, I met a beautiful young woman who was from Peoria, who was also working on completing her degree, my wife, Christina. Not only did I fall in love with my wife, but I did with this community, where together we have raised our 3 sons, built a business over the last 29 years, volunteered in many organizations, and have had the honor of serving as a 3-term Peoria City Councilman for almost 12 years. I am campaigning for mayor because I believe in Peoria. This is our home. This is a great place to raise a family, to build a career, or work for one of the many great companies that we have in our community. We must continue to build this community so that our kids and our grandkids have opportunities. But Peoria has also some very serious financial issues that we must face and confront. $330 million in pension liability, $150 million in combined sewer overflow, $40 million in the Pierre Marquette debacle, declining population and city revenues. Our property tax is one of the highest in Illinois. This is unacceptable. As the mayor of Peoria, I will focus on getting our financial house in order, focus on basic city services, police, fire, and roads, and I want to put forth the largest effort ever made to help our businesses grow and expand. I want to take my 30 years of business experience of being a business owner, my master's in business administration, and my 3 terms of being a city councilman to take on these challenges.
All right, Jim, thank you for that. Now let's dive right into the questions. Question 1 is, if elected mayor, please state your top 2 priorities and why are they your priorities and how do you plan to accomplish them? Jim, let's start with you.
Sure. Thank you for that question. You know, our top 3, or my top 2 priorities are, 1, we have to get our financial house in order, and that's we have to deal with our pension liabilities that we have. With over the next 20 years, it's going to be $330 million. We must get some financial experts to help us deal with this problem, both short-term, medium, and long-term. We must work with our legislators to help us come with a workable solution. And we must also, we can no longer tax our people and increase these fees. We must focus on business growth, and that's our only way out of the problem that we are. That's the only way we're going to accomplish getting our city out of trouble. I want to focus on helping our small and medium-sized businesses grow and expand. I want to reduce the red tape that it takes for our businesses to open here in Peoria.
All right, Jim, for that, thank you for that. Dr. Ali, what are your top 2 priorities if elected
Sure.
mayor, and how do you plan to accomplish them?
Sure. If I have to limit to 2, and I have more than 2, I would say it's population growth and jobs and economic development. We have to grow our population to contribute to our tax base. In order to grow our population, we have to attract companies. We have to attract new businesses to our area. And, you know, we've seen a lot of loss. We've seen thousands of people leave Peoria. Of course, with the restructuring at Caterpillar, we know we saw a loss of thousands. But there's been other reasons why people have left Peoria. We've seen businesses leave. So we've seen opportunities, you know, a lack of opportunities. So again, there's many reasons why people left, but we have to find reasons to attract people back to Peoria, similar to Columbus, Ohio. So we live in the Frost Belt. We live in a cold area, but so does Columbus, Ohio, the fastest growing city in the Midwest and the fastest growing city, one of the fastest growing cities in the country. They are a smart city. I want to put Peoria on a pathway to be a smart city, and I'd love to tell you more about that as we move forward.
All right, Dr. Ali, thank you very much. The second question is, do you think our Main Street downtown is healthy and successful? If so, why? And if not, what would you do to change that? Dr. Ali, let's start with you.
Sure. Main Street. Okay, so we want to attract more businesses to, and I consider Main Street not just Main Street, okay? So when I think about Main Street downtown, I'm thinking about downtown Peoria. I grew up in a downtown that was flourishing with businesses. I mean, we would get on the bus and go downtown as teenagers just to shop from store to store. You know, Peoria downtown doesn't look like it did before. Our Main Street doesn't look like it did before. But again, we have to attract new businesses. We have to attract population. I want to bring passenger rail back to Peoria. I want to bring Amtrak to Peoria so that people don't have to drive to Bloomington or to Galesburg to get to Chicago or St. Louis or Memphis or other cities. We should have, we're a college city too, just like Macomb, just like Bloomington. We should have access to Amtrak or passenger rail. And I believe that now is the time that we can get that for our community.
Jim, now to you. Do you think our Main Street or downtown is healthy? If so, why? And if not, what are you going to do to change that?
Sure. So our city over the last 12 to 15 years have put a significant amount of investment into our warehouse district, and we are starting to see the results of a area that is starting to grow, bring people in, new restaurants and businesses. We are doing the right thing. We invested into infrastructure. Now there's the other part of our downtown where OSF has made a significant investment into our downtown to put their new headquarters in that location. That area isn't looking so good. So our city should be involved with helping those streets, the curbs, sidewalks, lighting, and those are just some of the things that we can do to help promote that area. That's exactly the way our government should be involved with business, is making sure that we have a great looking infrastructure that attracts people into our city.
To the next question, the Peoria City Council previously approved tax dollars to go towards the revitalization of the Hotel Marquette, which ended up with the city losing millions of dollars. Jim, you referred to this earlier in your introduction. How would you work as mayor to avoid future losses like this one? Jim, we'll start with you.
Sure. So I will be against using public tax dollars to invest into private development. We have just seen what kind of debacle that will create for our city when we're talking our city being on the hook for $40 million. Just think of what that $40 million could be doing right now for our community. So I am not in favor of our city making these types of investments. I would like for us to focus on a pro-growth policies. I'd like for us to focus on like SSAs. We have a tax abatement brought forward by Councilman Kelly, which will encourage new development in the 1st District for new housing. Those are the things that we should be looking at, and stop increasing taxes and fees, because that does not bring businesses and people into our community. It chases them away.
And Dr. Ali, what's your response to, if you were elected as mayor, how would you avoid future losses like the one that we've seen with the Peoria Marquette Hotel?
Sure. Well, clearly the Peoria Marquette was a bad investment. You know, I think that at that time there were a lot of desperate people, you know, putting a lot of hope into what the Peoria Marquette might bring or might be. But at the same time, I don't believe that the city did its due diligence in terms of putting forth the city's taxpayers' money on that investment. I don't think that we actually explored deep enough the investors that brought that, the developers that brought that project forward. I think that we should have vetted that project. And the same with other potential new projects. I think that there are times when the city can invest funds, taxpayer funds, toward a good potential project. But again, we have to do our due diligence. We have to make sure that we are not giving money to people that have filed multiple bankruptcies, and that we're making a good investment.
We're going to head to our first question from our Facebook page. Aaron feels like there are too many fees on top of high property taxes. They want to know, how can we fix our current budget and pension issues without taxpayers having to pay more fees? Dr. Ali, let's start with you.
Sure. You know, from the beginning, I've been against overtaxing the taxpayers. You know, we're not getting, the taxpayer today is not getting what we're paying for. We're constantly slashing city services. We're cutting public safety. We're cutting road projects. You know, the city, the residents pay taxes for protection and for basic city services, and we're not giving them their money's worth. But we're constantly adding on fees and constantly raising property taxes in the past, prior to my coming on to the council. But so we have to generate revenue. That's where we have to focus. We have to focus on revenue generation. We have to build our capacity to bring in external funds. You know, in my work in workforce development and education, I've raised and led efforts to bring more than $50 million to this community for education and workforce projects. I want to build the city's capacity to bring more external money to do things that we can't do with our regular budget.
And Jim, how do you think we can fix our current budget and pension issues without having to make the taxpayers pay more fees?
Sure. For the record, I voted against all of these damaging tax and fee increases that happened over the last 5 years. And I said on the city council floor, we are headed in the wrong direction. This is not what we should be doing. What we need to be focusing on right now is business growth. We have to grow our way out of these problems. You know, Denver and Rochester, New York was in the same kind of position that we are in here today. Faced with having to grow out of the problems that they're in, what they did is they had a focus on small and medium-sized businesses. When they did that, they seen their employers grow thousands of new employees and millions of new revenue for the city. That's exactly the approach that we have to take, something that is sustainable. We have to focus on our own very small and medium-sized businesses and help them grow and expand. We also have a medical industry that we need to focus on just as well. We've become a regional place for medical services, and there are a lot of more opportunities that we can work out of this deal.
Moving on to our next question now. What is your stance on the current staffing level of police officers on the streets in the city? Jim, we'll start with you.
Sure. You know, that's one thing that I have heard on the campaign trail everywhere, is that we need more police. You know, I'm very proud that our police department has earned the CALIA certification. What does that mean? That means that our police department is in the 5% across the entire nation that have become certified and have policy to work with our community, and it makes us, the CALIA program makes us stand out from all the rest of the other police departments. You know, the one thing that people were telling me is that we need more police. I absolutely think that we should have 2 police officers in these hot spot areas that are going on. And one thing that has worked very successfully for us in the past is hot spot policing. We did that several years ago and had a lot of good success. Those are some of the things that we should be working on.
And Dr. Ali, what's your response to the current staffing level of police officers on the streets in the city of Peoria?
Sure, and you know, I've worked in police community relations for a good number of years and, you know, kept track of the numbers where we are in terms of capacity. At one time, our capacity for police officers was 250. Well, that's been lowered and lowered and lowered, and now our capacity, I believe, is at 225, but we're not there. We're still not there. We're at about 215 police officers. So we still have that gap that has been unfilled for a good number of months, and I would say almost over a year, at least over a year now. So again, we lack capacity. There's some areas where we have many police, of course, the higher crime areas, and then there's some areas where we hardly have any police because of capacity issues. We don't have enough police to solve the many crimes that we have right now. We have police that are not being able to solve cold case crimes and other murders that have taken place. If we don't begin to solve these crimes, people are going to continue to do those crimes.